Hi, this is Greg from In 5D, and today's topic is the origin of the names of each month. The word month comes from the word moon, so our months should be from new moon to new moon, which would give us 13 months in the year. January was named after the Roman god Janus, who was the god of doorways and beginnings. February was named after the Roman festival of purification called Februa. March was named after the Roman god Mars, who was the god of war and guardian of the state. April comes from the Roman calendar month of Aprilis. This was considered a sacred month for the goddess Venus. May was named after the goddess Maya, the daughter of Atlas and one of the Pleiades. June was named after the goddess Juno, who was the wife of Jupiter. July was named after Julius Caesar in 44 BC, and the month originally had the Roman name of Quintilis, meaning 5. And here's where things start to get pretty screwed up. August was named for the Roman Emperor Augustus in 8 BC. The month was formerly known as Sextilis, Sextilis meaning 6. And you're going to see a pattern here. September comes from the Latin word septem, which means 7. Which was the 7th month of the calendar, but with this Gregorian calendar system that's specifically designed to take us out of harmonious rhythm with nature, it's now the 9th month. October comes from the Latin word octo, which means 8, which was the 8th month of the calendar, but once again, not in the Gregorian calendar system. November comes from the word novem, which means 9, which was the 9th month of the calendar, so are we seeing a pattern here? December comes from the Latin word decem, meaning 10, which was the 10th month of the calendar. It makes you wonder what the calendar would look like if there were 13 months, one for each new moon. The late Jose Arguelles believed that we should live without time as much as possible. He also believed that the calendar should be revised to something more harmonious with nature, such as a 13-month calendar where each month starts and ends on the same days, with the same number of days in each month. And I agree with him. Ideally, each of the 13 months would have 28 days, and an extra day would be added to one of those months. This would change your horoscope sign, but overall, it would bring you more into harmony with our planet and the stars. In this clip, Cliff High explains how and why the current Gregorian calendar became so screwed up.
We actually have two data sets that we maintain. It's interesting about the two dates. Let's examine the latter date first. December 21, 2012, at 11:11 a.m., not p.m., is the alignment that was deliberately created by Pope Gregory under the auspices or under the direction of the powers that be at that time. They took a German mathematician of some note who assembled a team, and then they used texts that theoretically do not exist. This is to say, many of the Mayan books that were said to have been burned, in fact, were not burned, and they were carefully crated up and taken back to the Vatican as part of the payoff for the expeditions and the slicing of the planet between the Spanish and the Portuguese by the popes of that time. Now, when Pope Gregory had the calendar redone, they went to considerable work. That is to say, a team of 15 mathematicians, led by this particular German mathematician, spent some 5 months in the reconciliation level alone to get the Gregorian calendar to align specifically with the end of the Mayan calendar on these particular numbers. So they did it from a numerological viewpoint. They wanted the 11:11 a.m. because 11 is the number of mastery. It is one number beyond divinity. And the 11:11 combination brings you to 22, which is their number for sainthood or ascension.
If you look at other reasons why the calendar is the way it is, then you'll see that it completely supports commerce and the banking system by creating work weeks for the economic slaves of society while taking us out of nature's rhythm. If time is an illusion, then it really doesn't matter until you tell your boss that the reason you're late for work is because time is an illusion. Keep in mind that time, as we know it, can only be relevant to this planet as it's measured by the amount of hours it takes for the Earth to rotate. A day on Mars would be similar but different because it takes approximately 28 hours for Mars to complete one rotation, thus proving that time can only be relevant to any given planet. Would you be in favor of changing the calendar system to something more harmonious with nature, or would you prefer keeping things the way they are? Leave your comments below this video. That's it for now. This is Greg from In5D.